Hey there, folks. This is Tanya Evans. I'm a professor of law at Penn State Dickinson Law School and the co-hire, I should say, the Penn State Institute for Computational and Data Sciences. I'm the host of the Tech Intersect podcast and founder of the Advantage Evans Academy. I am doing a quick hot take on a conversation I just had with one of the hosts of Yahoo Finance Live. Fantastic conversation that was focused on the legal fallout for celebrity endorsers of the FTX exchange, created by disgraced founder Sam Bankman-Fried, who is currently, as of today, which is December 15th, sitting behind bars in a Bahamian jail cell and fighting extradition back to the United States to face charges out of the Southern District of New York. So you've heard a lot about Sam Bankman-Fried. If not, please go and have a listen to my podcast, techintersect.buzzsprout.com, and just Google it. There's so much coverage. I'm not going to go into the weeds of who he is and exactly what he's done, but he created and founded FTX, a crypto exchange where it's basically a marketplace. It's not a bank. People go on, willing buyers, willing sellers, exchanging crypto assets. All right, that's an aside. But another product that was offered by FTX is called a yield bearing account, or YBA. And it offered the promise of about 8% return, no risk, guaranteed, can get your money out at any time. That's always a concern. That might be your first red flag, but it is not unlike, I should say, other similar yield bearing products on other exchanges. For example, Gemini, certainly a legitimate exchange. I've used Gemini in the past. And in addition to going on in the marketplace of buying and selling, it offers, I think it's changed its name, but the Earn product, where you can park your crypto assets and earn interest. Well, Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX were actually using those YBAs for fiat currency, or government issued funds. So people would transfer their money in, they would get an IOU, says you can pull it out at any time, but while it's parked here, we will do way better than your bank account and give you up to 8%. So it's, like regular. It wasn't saying 50%, 100%. It's something within the realm of possibility on what appeared to be a legitimate site that was also had the blessing of legislators who were working with SBF in order to craft legislation in this area. And that brings me to talking about the celebrities, the musicians and singers and athletes that signed endorsement deals, did a lot of commercials. It makes me think of the Super Bowl commercial with Larry David. Maybe he's the only one. He told everybody, yeah. So maybe he's not on the hook. There'll be a bunch of people who are, and I want to get it right, who actually is being sued in class action suits out of the Southern District of Florida. Because we have a lot of lawsuits, and so even just taking some time to distinguish lawsuits from earlier in the year with Yuga Labs and those who promoted the Bored Ape Yacht Club, and that's like Tom Brady and Giselle and Serena, Madonna, Gwyneth Paltrow, Naomi Osaka, a bunch of folks. And then there was another lawsuit, but there are these two class actions out of Florida, one with a lead plaintiff, Garrison, the other, I believe the name is pronounced Coveroy, I'm not quite sure, but they have analogous lawsuits, and they have to move forward and actually certify a class of similarly situated plaintiffs in a manner that can also be manageable. Maybe there's so many people impacted, it becomes unmanageable. But now also numerous celebrities are trying to distance themselves and their brand, their name, image, likeness, their reputation, their goodwill. So Shaquille O'Neal comes to mind. Recent statements, I believe this week, that he just was a paid spokesperson, doesn't even believe in crypto, et cetera. And you kind of distinguish people who may just be involved in commercial speech versus someone who had an equity interest. It makes me think of like Kevin O'Leary, who really has gotten ahead of this and actually testified before the Senate Banking Committee. So you should go to the Senate Banking Committee's website and actually take a look, or at least download his comments. And I thought they were quite good because he too was separating out what has happened here, which is like garden variety Ponzi scheme, Bernie Madoff level, taking someone's money, promising them an outcome, and doing something that neither had the permission or the consent, or at least the knowledge that their funds were being misused in this way. And so that actually has a lot of celebrities on the hook. Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX are bankrupt. The celebrities may be the deep pockets, and even if they actually win, and I think it's quite likely that quite a few may be dismissed from various lawsuits because I don't think they all have the same level of engagement and connection um, with the products and the services of FTX. Time will tell. That's what discovery is for, to figure out who knew what when and how involved they were, and whether their participation had some type of direct result, had some direct impact and a material impact in the decision-making process of their fans. Because at the end of the day, celebrities are trading on their name, their reputation, their goodwill. And people say, I might not know a lot about this, but I trust him. Like Tom Brady, he has great lawyers. He's a great businessman. If he did it, then it must be safe for me. Um, and even needs to go probably a step further. Florida securities laws, I understand it. I am not licensed in Florida, so I'm reading things as other people are to try and unpack the blue sky laws in Florida relating to securities. And it appears to be, because it's written more broadly than, say, the Howey test that is applied by the SEC. That certainly, in terms of investment contracts, is one of the laundry list. But even more than that, maybe someone who makes a deposit and gets an IOU, which seems to be what happened with respect to the yield-bearing accounts here. So time's going to tell about the level of involvement, the contractual obligations of the celebrities as well, maybe the representations and warranties made on the FTX side and certainly on the celebrity side, and the indemnification clause or the moral turpitudes clauses, to the extent there are any. Bottom line, and where we go from here, because we have all of these reverberating impacts, the wider fallout in the crypto economy, liquidity crunches, halted withdrawals that tie up assets. Again, even in on an exchange like Gemini, where some assets are still being held, where there was a promise that people would get their deposits of their cryptocurrencies back within 5 days, sometimes minutes, hours, days, but we've gone on weeks at this point. Certainly will be heightened regulatory and legislative oversight. The recent hearings pertain to that. Technology opportunity may start to move overseas out of to jurisdictions that have greater clarity and are more welcoming and also more clear. Does that mean that the US is going to fall behind if there's regulatory overreach? So there's a lot going on. There are a lot of consequences here, and we all need to pay very close attention. And if it's something that you don't understand, and obviously if it's too good to be true, sometimes there are legitimate things that appear to be too good to be true. Learn the basics. Spend some time with me, either in my membership or take one of my short courses or a long course. I have free resources. I have my podcast. So there's something for everyone. Someone who already has assets and want to figure out, how do you winterize your crypto assets? How do you set up a vetting protocol so that you can vet all of these projects to figure out what is what? How to distinguish between among the over 22,000 different types of coins and tokens. FTT certainly wasn't ETH, or it certainly wasn't Bitcoin. Learn what Bitcoin is. Learn the reason that it was created. What was the intention? It actually was to avoid things like this, because FTX was a centralized exchange with a puppet master in the back who was saying one thing and with sleight of hands doing another. The centralization of money and power is of concern. That's exactly why Satoshi sat down to create peer-to-peer cash that combined three technologies that already existed: peer-to-peer technology, the internet, and cryptographic encryption of messages. And now the message is money. in order to avoid the centralization as a matter of business, governments, and the like. So we need to learn the language of the future of work, of money and of wealth. We need to be cautious. We need to be prudent. Uh, Forget about get rich quick. The crypto industry is 24/7, 365. It never sleeps. So you really need to be prudent and cautious. You don't have to do everything or all the things or buy anything, but you do need to lean into education. The first step is to educate and to invest in yourself. And that means educating yourself so that you are far less likely to be taken advantage of like this, and also know the role of self custody. Because as horrible as the activities of Sam Bankman Fried and FTX appear to be, anyone who bought, sold, exchanged, and moved things into their self-custodied wallet, they didn't lose their money. They didn't lose their value. So we need to figure out the importance of self-custody as a matter of economic empowerment, self-sovereignty. You can do this. I can help. Let's learn from the mistakes of others so that we don't do them ourselves. And let the celebrity and the fan beware. Not everything that glitters is gold. All right. Want to find out more about me and what I do? Head on over to proftanyaevans.com. Please book me for your next media hit and for your next event or corporate training. I'm doing a lot of internal training so that from banks to corporations, small businesses, individuals, universities, we have to get this right on all sides of the issues. And you can do this, and I can help. You can also find out more about my memberships, the Grand Slam Circle, my courses from Cash to Crypto, Decode the Future, my forthcoming book, also From Cash to Crypto, fall 2023, where you'll learn from my path about how to find your own shine in the future of work, wealth, and creativity. So until then, continue to shine.